You wake up tired, even after sleeping. You look in the mirror, and something feels incomplete. There's this quiet ache, this sense that something is missing, that you should be somewhere else, someone else, something more. You scroll through your phone, searching for something you can't name. You achieve things, and the satisfaction lasts maybe a day. You connect with people, but still feel alone in a room full of faces. What if I told you that this feeling, this endless searching, isn't a problem to be solved? What if it's a messenger pointing to the greatest illusion you've ever believed, the illusion of who you think you are? Today, we simply invite ourselves to rest in what has always been here, to witness the peace that never left, even when you forgot it. This contemplation, drawn from the ancient wisdom of Wu Hsin and his lost writings, offers a quiet space to understand how to dissolve the barriers we never needed to build, and return to what you've always been before you became someone. Wu Hsin, an enigmatic voice of non-dual wisdom, speaks with radical simplicity. His words cut through the noise. They don't comfort the mind, they expose it. The arrival of clarity is the loss of that which was never possessed. You're not gaining anything, you're losing everything false. This isn't about acquiring knowledge or becoming enlightened. It's about recognizing what has always been true, hidden beneath layers of belief, identity, and the persistent story of me. At the end, we'll share a 60-second experiment to dissolve the sensation of, I need to get there. There's a moment that happens to everyone, usually in childhood. One day, you simply appear to yourself, not your body. That was always here. But suddenly, there's this sense, I am me, I am separate, I am here, and the world is out there. Wu Hsin calls this the second birth. The first birth happens in the womb. The second birth is the birth of the I, the notion of a distinct identity standing apart from everything else. And this is where the problem begins. Because once this I appears, it starts building. It collects experiences, opinions, memories, fears. It constructs an entire identity. I am this kind of person. I like this. I don't like that. I need this to be happy. The mind divides everything into subject and object, into me and the world. And suddenly, you feel alone, fragmented, separate from life itself. This division, this sense of being split off from the whole, is the root of all unhappiness. Not your circumstances, not what happened to you. The belief that you are a separate self, struggling in a world that is other. You are not the character in the play. You are the screen on which the play appears. But here's what Wu Hsin points to. With the precision of a blade and the tenderness of a dawn sky, that separate self is a concept. It's not a fact. It's an idea about the facts. Words are not facts, Wu Hsin reminds us. They are only ideas about facts. What he points to is direct contact with reality itself, without allowing your belief system to intervene. In the absence of identification with anything, who are you? Let that question land. Who are you when you're not holding on to any story, any label, any identity? Think about it. Right now, you might say, I am a father, I am anxious, I am successful, I am broken. But are you? Or are those just thoughts appearing in awareness? The I you believe yourself to be is like a character in a play. It has a role, a costume, lines to speak. But the actor beneath the costume, what is that? Wu Hsin offers a startling image. You are not the main character in this play. You are one of many characters. And here's the secret. No actor can change their role on stage according to their preferences. The role unfolds. Life happens. But you are not the role. You are like the quiet harbor beneath the waves, untouched by the storms crossing the surface. Let's try something. Close your eyes for a moment, or soften your gaze. Notice your breath. Not controlling it, just noticing. Now notice the thoughts moving through your mind. Don't engage with them. Don't follow them into their stories. Just notice. Thoughts are appearing. Thoughts are disappearing, like clouds crossing the sky. The sky doesn't hold on to the clouds. It doesn't push them away. It simply allows them. Now ask yourself, who is noticing? Who is aware of the thoughts? Pause here. Stay with that question. Don't search for an answer in your mind. The mind will only give you another thought, another concept. Instead, rest in the not knowing. Rest in the awareness that is here, quietly witnessing everything. This awareness, this presence, doesn't come and go. It's always here. It was here before you had a name. It will be here when every story ends. All that exists is consciousness. Consciousness is all that exists. In the absence of consciousness, what exists? Everything you perceive, including the one who perceives, appears in consciousness. You are not in consciousness. You are consciousness. Wu Hsin's teaching is not about acquiring knowledge. It's about unlearning. It's about seeing through the layers of conditioning, belief, and identification that obscure what is already clear. He says, there is nothing to learn. However, there is much to unlearn. You don't need to become enlightened. You need to stop pretending you're not already whole. The mind creates problems and then exhausts itself trying to solve them. It's like hiring a thief to protect your house from other thieves. The mind says, I need to find myself. I need to be better. I need to understand. But the one who seeks is the obstacle to finding. The one who tries to understand is what prevents understanding. You've been seeking your whole life for happiness, for peace, for love, for meaning. And every time you find something, it eventually fades. Not because you chose wrong, but because you were looking in the wrong direction. You were looking for yourself in the world, but you can only look from yourself at the world. You are the sky pretending to be the storm. Here's the paradox that Wu Hsin laughs at. The individual desires liberation. But liberation from what? Liberation from the pain of being an individual. Do you see it? The very one who wants to be free is the prison, not your body, not your circumstances, not your past. The identification with being a separate me. That's the only bondage there ever was. You are the only obstacle. The way beyond you is through you. This isn't philosophical theory. This is the most practical thing you'll ever hear, because every moment of suffering in your life comes from this one place, the belief that you are a limited, separate self that needs protecting, improving, or fixing. So, how does this apply to your daily life? How does this help when you're stuck in traffic, when your heart is broken, when the bills are piling up, and the future feels uncertain? Imagine you're sitting in traffic, late for an important meeting. The usual response: frustration, anxiety, maybe anger. The mind starts spinning. This always happens to me. I'm going to get in trouble. Why can't anything go right? That's the character responding. The me who has somewhere to be, who judges this moment as wrong. But what if, just for an instant, you step back? What if you notice? There's frustration arising. There's anxiety. There are thoughts about being late. Not I am frustrated, but there is frustration. Subtle difference. Massive shift. Suddenly, you're not drowning in the emotion. You're the space in which the emotion appears. The traffic is still there. The potential consequences are still real. But something has changed. You're no longer identified with the one who's suffering. You're the awareness of the suffering. And in that awareness, there's room to breathe, room to respond rather than react. This is what Wu Hsin means when he says, when one ceases to resist what is and harmonizes with what is, a state of clarity is reached. Wu Hsin points to this. When you stop resisting what is, clarity arises. And in that clarity, you see there's no separate doer, just life living itself through countless forms. The rain falls, the heart beats, thoughts arise. Where is the you in any of this? The I you believe yourself to be is just another object appearing in awareness. When you see this, nothing changes, except you're no longer identified with the changing. You rest as the unchanging. You are like the room's silence that remains when conversations end, unchanged by what passed through. Wu Hsin asks, over the course of this life, how many identities have you had? Where are they now? Beneath all these shifting identities is something that has never changed. Not your thoughts. They change. Not your feelings. They change. Not your body. It's changing every moment. But the awareness of all this, the consciousness in which everything appears, that has never moved. What is permanent within the transitory? Find that, and the search ends. Here's what makes this challenging. The mind wants a method, a practice, a step-by-step guide. But Wu Hsin says, my method has no method. You only need to stop. Stop clinging. Stop planning. Stop analyzing. Stop seeking. Stop giving your thoughts the power to define who you are. This doesn't mean become passive or indifferent. It means recognize what's actually happening beneath all the mental commentary. Life is living itself through you. Your heart beats without your effort. Your breath flows without your control. The sun rises. The seasons turn. What makes you think you need to control your existence any more than the orange tree needs to control the growth of oranges? There's a story Wu Hsin shares about a student named Lan Xi. Lan Xi sought wisdom from 3 masters. The first master taught him, you are the screen on which everything appears and disappears. Lan Xi wasn't satisfied. The second master taught him the exact same thing, still not satisfied. The third master said, first you must serve me. For 10 years, only then will I teach you. So, Lan Xi served, cleaning stables, sweeping floors, preparing meals, washing clothes, for 10 years. Humble work, unglamorous, ego-dissolving. At the end, he said, I have fulfilled my commitment. I am ready for your teaching. The master replied, you are the screen on which everything appears and disappears. The same teaching, 3 times, but only after 10 years of service, 10 years of the ego being worn down, could Lan Xi actually hear it. Sometimes the teaching is simple, but we're not ready for simplicity. We want complexity, because complexity keeps the me in charge, keeps the seeker seeking, keeps the story going. So let's come back to this moment. Right now, as you hear these words, notice, there is awareness here, not your awareness, just awareness itself. It's not inside your head. It's not limited to your body. It's the space in which your body, your thoughts, your entire world appears. You've been looking for it your whole life, but you've been looking from it the entire time. The search ends when the fish understands the futility of searching for the ocean. The water isn't wetter over there than it is here. You don't need to go anywhere to find what you already are. You're like the white page where ink dries, present before any word, remaining after every sentence ends. Wu Hsin's final pointing is this: take everything away until all that remains is just you. Then take yourself away too, and the abode of happiness will be revealed. This is the great letting go, not a loss, but a homecoming. You strip away everything you're not, every belief, every identity, every story. And then, in the end, you let go of the one who's doing the stripping away. What remains? Not emptiness in the sense of lack, but fullness beyond description, the silence that contains all sound, the stillness that contains all movement, the peace that was never absent, only overlooked while you were busy being someone. Here's what I want you to consider. What if, right now, nothing is wrong? Not because your problems aren't real, but because the one who has the problems isn't as solid as you think? What if, beneath the story of struggle, there's just this: breath flowing, awareness shining, life happening, no one to fix, nowhere to arrive? What can exist without you? Answer this, and all other questions are concluded. Nothing can exist without awareness, but awareness exists without any particular thing. You are that awareness. I won't tell you what to do with this. I won't offer you 5 steps to awakening or a morning routine for enlightenment. Wu Hsin would laugh at that. Instead, I'll simply say, pay attention, not to your thoughts about reality, but to reality itself. When you're washing dishes, just wash dishes. When you're walking, just walk. When the mind spins its stories, and it will, don't fight it. Just notice. There's the story again. And notice, here I am, aware of the story. The story comes and goes, but awareness remains. Home was never a place you left. You've carried this weight of becoming for so long, the weight of needing to be better, to arrive somewhere, to finally get it right, just for 60 seconds. Let's see what happens when you put it down. Close your eyes, or soften your gaze. For the next minute, simply notice, where is the sensation? I need to get somewhere. Don't think about it. Just feel for it in your body. Is it in your chest, your throat, your belly? Now ask, who needs to get somewhere? Wait for the mind to answer. When it does, I do. Ask again. Who is that? Keep asking until the question dissolves, until there's just this: breathing, awareness, presence. No one going anywhere, nothing to achieve, just what is, exactly as it is. Open your eyes. Notice you never left home. Stop speaking and stop thinking, and nothing remains unknown. If this reflection touched something in you, not new, but ancient and familiar, let it settle. Don't rush to understand it. Let it work beneath the surface, like a seed that opens in its own time. Notice this teaching moving through your day. When you catch yourself being the character, identified with the role, what shifts when you step back, even for an instant? Share what you discover. We're exploring these depths together. Rest in what you are. The awareness reading these words. The presence that has never left. Home.